It is time once again for the weekly closes on our favorite Bitcoin miners. Today I'm coming to you from the backyard, so if you hear any outside noises, I apologize for that. I just thought it'd be, it's a really nice day, so I decided to do it from the backyard today. Anyways, we are looking first at Clean Spark as usual. Now this is looking kind of rough, not gonna lie. The last several weeks have been down. We're getting some nice wicks on bottom here, so it's looking like maybe this area down here at like 745, 740 might be a bottom here. Like 741 might be a bottom here. We are getting a lot of buying action down there. That's pushing the stock up when we get down there. So that's promising to see. Now we are still below the 5-day moving average. We've got the 10 crossing beneath the 100 over here, characterized by that red cloud just above. And I do have Keltner channels on here right now, which are these thin lines down here at the bottom and the top. And we're closer to the bottom than the top, which generally indicates that we have more upside potential than downside potential, much like when we were over here. We were above the Keltner channels for a couple of weeks, almost a month, and that was characterized soon after by a sharp drop-off to hit the bottom. Then we came up, hit the top again, and now we're getting close to the bottom once more, which again does mean that there is likely more upside than downside at this current juncture at this point in time. Now, that doesn't mean that we have to go up. It just means that the risk to reward is favorable to the upside. That's all that means. And of course, nothing I say is financial advice and not a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. We are in really challenging times right now. It is so important to have a plan as to how you're going to invest, when you're going to leave those investments, have stop losses and take profits in mind in case things go according to plan, or things fall apart. That is so important. One thing I'll point out here is that the stochastics and the BX trender down at the bottom of the screen here, those all look bad. Those all still look really bad. We did get some relief on those back here in like early January. We've got to move up, but then we were immediately smacked back down. Now this is going to continue. Honestly, it will continue until the trade war is settled. Once the White House is done sending out new trade related negative trade related posts, that's when this is going to stop. It's going to stop when we come to agreements with our trading partners, and until then there's too much uncertainty. And I know that a lot of us thought that this was already priced in because Trump has been telegraphing this plan for a really long time, long before he was in office, but the stock market went up anyways, and we expect the stock market to be a forward-looking entity. It looks forward, it trades where things are going to be 6 months from now, not today. So the fact that he was harping hard about tariffs and the stock market was still continuing to go up, a lot of us thought, okay, well, apparently the market thinks that this isn't going to be a problem. And then the moment he got into office and tweeted, "We're doing tariffs," it tanked the market, and it's been tanking it almost as fast as the COVID drop. And that's been really rough on a lot of us. So, trust me, I'm there with you. I've had to cut positions, most of them in barely any profit, some in losses. It's been rough. And until this is done, we're going to continue to see choppy waters, and we are not going to see risk assets like the Bitcoin miners take off in any meaningful way until we get some kind of clarity and the market feels comfortable with what's going on. Okay, that's it. Now there is one thing on the horizon that we can probably look to and feel good about here, and that's going to be US M2. That's been increasing for a while here. Let me here. See, that's been increasing for a bit, and it's been going up since February. So for about a month now. There is usually a lag on this before it hits risk assets, and we're almost back up to the highest we've ever been. So we could see, if this doesn't, in the next couple of weeks, if this doesn't translate towards higher risk on assets in terms of higher prices for risk on assets, then we're really in trouble. So I'm kind of waiting for this thing to give me a day or two, or maybe 3, of some upward price action out of this M2 coming in here since early February. But so far it hasn't kicked in yet, so it's coming in a bit late. So that's not great. And again, I do think a lot of that has to do with, not that one. A lot of that has to do with what's going on with the trade war. Okay, zone coloring, and I want that one. Okay, great. Okay, so right now, Clean Spark doesn't look too great. Okay, it's not looking too great. Even if we get a move up here, I mean, until we're trading solidly over the 5-week moving average, I'm really not thinking there's a whole lot of strong upside coming through right now. I think we're probably more likely going to range for a while, maybe even the majority of 2025 until we start getting into the summer, maybe even into Q4 before this thing really blasts off. But if that's yet to be seen. We don't really know. We're coming into April. April is a really important month. If we are negative on April, that's going to be really bad for the overall market. So we're paying attention. We're kind of in that chop solidation zone right now in terms of being between February and March. Those are times usually when the market will do some sort of reset or be just less interesting. And then April was really important for that to be at least somewhat positive, to give us some hope for the remainder of the year, or at least some kind of summer rally. So we're watching for that right now. I'm just kind of sitting on the sideline waiting right now. So that's what's going on. We really need to see it, conquer the 5-week moving average, which is currently at 887. I'd really like to see it get above like 923, maybe even above $10 again before I'm interested. But remember, there's so much resistance in this chart all the way up to $18 on CleanSpark. So I'm not super bullish in terms of it cutting through all that really fast. Let's go to the warrants. The warrants have come down to that fib level, and they don't seem to want to give it up at like 39 to 37. Oh, what happened there? That should be about right there. Okay. That 37-cent range. Here, let me lock that down so that doesn't happen again. Okay. There it is. Okay. That 37-cent range, we've been kind of getting locked to that 786, which is generally where you see buyers come in and recommit. So even if they do, though, I wouldn't be surprised to see it come up to about 64 and get stopped there. And run into some resistance, and then resistance basically all the way up to 84 cents. And once we clear 84 cents, then we're kind of clean up to $1. But from there, that's about as good as that's going to get right now. We're getting pinned to that 786 level. Let's take a look at Mara. Okay, how's Mara doing? So Mara, I don't hate or love this one. So right now we got a bit of a double bottom right here, bottom, and as soon as we come back up above this white line right here at 1576-ish. Once we get above that, I'll be feeling pretty good about that double bottom, potentially taking us back up to $20. Now, of course, $20 is that most traded zone on Mara. I am a little bit concerned about it for Mara in terms of just getting slapped right back down at $20 for Mara. It just seems to be consistently the area where we hit and we get slapped right back down. It's also where this double bottom would take us, and that bullish trend would end, and we would need to get a new bullish structure in order to take us higher than $20. Okay. So Mara right now, I don't hate it. I like that double bottom coming in. I'd like to see it clear the midpoint, which of course is going to be about that almost $16 range, right? And then you got $4 to move up before it is basically going to be done for, and possibly get slapped right back down at that 1980 level for Mara. The BX trender is not looking good. The stochastics are not looking good. So on the weekly, nothing's really indicating on the weekly charts anyways that these things want to turn around next week. We'll have to wait and see, and we'll have to see some of these things break out a little bit. They got to break out. They got to start breaking out. And we're going to be watching for which one's going to do that first, because that's going to be the one that does the mover first. All right, the big mover, right? That's going to be the big mover. Let's take a look at Iren now. Iren has been super disappointing. We came all the way back down to where I started entering last summer, September, excuse me, right when I started buying in there. We came all the way back down. So basically, I got out of Iren with like 10% profit on all my shares, and I'm pretty upset about that actually, because I was at 100%, and it just went right. It was making that cup and handle right, and then it came up, failed right there. This is when I should have known. I should have known right on this weekly here on January 27th. And just cut it. I had a line. I should have respected it as soon as it went under it. I should have just cut it right away. It was this line right here. This was the line where I was like, that's it. That's done. And I let it go past that, thinking it was just because of the tariffs and that was going to be handled soon. And guess what? It wasn't really handled soon. So we fell further and further and further. Now we have a really wicked hammer candle down here. I like that. I like that the wicks are coming in long at the bottom here on Iren. I like that we've already touched the bottom of the weekly Keltner channel there. Normally when we touch the bottom there, we will see maybe a basing for a little while and then a breakout candle, right? One little breakout candle like this one right here, right? We get like a good 20% candle, and then boom, we're going to take off with much bigger candles from there, like 25. Then we got a 60% candle, and then a couple weeks later we got another 40% candle. And then when we hit the top here, that's when it's time to go. Honestly, well, when we get a little bit above it. So I do think that Iren could still come up above $16 at some point. Okay, at some point, and I think it's likely to do it before Mara and before CleanSpark. Honestly, because the Iren tends to break out harder than they do. I'm not gonna lie. From what I've seen on the chart here, Iren tends to break out with more ferocity than CleanSpark or Mara, which is one of the reasons I was trading it. And now I've let it go at almost break-even prices, and I'm going to be sitting here and watching it for a little while. I think that we could see a bit of a sideways action here, because if we're not going to get a really big push out of this M2 money supply really, really soon, then we're going to go sideways for a while. We're going to go sideways for possibly months. So I don't want to lock up my capital like that, especially when at these times it is a lot. In my opinion, money is better put towards indexes that have fallen, 11% versus securities that have dropped 90. So let's take a look at Riot. Okay, maybe it didn't drop 90. Let's see. Okay, that might have been too much. How much did it drop? It went from here to the top. It came down 60%. Okay, I'm crying too much. 60% versus assets that have fallen 60%. Riot also at the bottom of the Keltner channel. Okay, you can see that the BX trend though, beat red, getting worse. Stochastics pointing straight down, not getting any better. The 5-week moving average pointing straight down. Until we conquer that 5-week moving average, I'm really not even remotely interested until we're trading above it again. We came down to almost the lowest lows here. Riot could easily come right back down a little bit to 636. Like generally, we don't go a lot lower than the bottom Keltner channel. It's not like the top one. That's just a suggestion. But what could happen is we'll hit it, and then we'll come up, and then just keep slamming it as it goes down and down and down and down. And right now, Keltner channels are about flat, so we could keep just hitting it right down there at that like 742 level, and slowly grind it down further and further and further. So again, Riot, we're looking for it to break some trend lines here, and let me get my favorites out. Okay, we're looking for it to break some trend lines like this one. I want to see it break that to the upside, and then from there give us some moves to the upside, potentially at the highest, honestly, like 1350 before it hits the top of this descending channel and then breaks right back down from it. We did get a double top come in on this one right here. So there's a double top here, right? That fed into a larger double top right in here. Let me go ahead and go there's top there, and the bottom of this double top is right where we came to. So we're kind of finished that out already. So there's that for Riot. So right now, Riot really could move up unless we see another bearish structure, or we could see it go sideways for a little while. Kind of like back here, right, where we had that double top, right? Let me get some squiggles. We had a double top, big old double top, came to the bottom of it, and then just kind of went sideways for a while, and then came even down a little further, and then finally started going up. So that's kind of what I'm expecting right now. I'm expecting to see some kind of sideways action until we get some kind of catalyst, and then have it come right back up again. And it's been, if you've noticed, Riot's been coming up weaker and weaker every time. So I would watch this descending channel here that goes all the way back to June 2023 and watch that. When price gets up there, I'd be very, very cautious. And that's right. Take a look at Btdigital. Btdigital had a nice day on Friday. We got a doji candle out of it. Now, it is looking a bit primed. It came basically all the way to the bottom of its critical support, right? And we need to break this orange line. Once it breaks this orange line, I'm looking at Btdigital come back up to this white line, which would be, if it did it next week, I'd be looking at it to about 353, maybe $4 on a good day. Okay, by the end of April, could be almost $4. I don't really expect it to go much higher than $4 anytime soon. Now we do have a bit of a falling wedge here. There's a bit of a falling wedge there, and that's a very bullish pattern. When it does break out of this, now it could come back up to, let's say, $4, right? And then it's going to hit all of this resistance here. And if it breaks above $4, so it will very quickly go to the top of the Keltner channel at 494. We are right at the bottom of the Keltner channel. We've been down there for 3 weeks now. This is what I was talking about with Riot just a second ago, right? Where we came and we hit it. And then we went up early in the week and then slammed it again, driving that Keltner channel to point down more. And then again this week we went up off of it and then came down, hit it one more time to send it even deeper down. And you can see the BX trender is still very, very red. The stochastics have a little glimmer of life there with that yellow color, and that's about as good as it gets on Btdigital. Let's move on to Bitfarms. Bitfarms has got another similar sort of pattern to Btdigital. We got a falling wedge. We've got bad stochastics. We've got bad BX trender. We've got red cloud there. But we are trading off the bottom of the Keltner channel. Let me get in here. This candle is completely detached from the Keltner channel, which is a good sign for Bitfarms. So Bitfarms, if Bitfarms is to go up, we do have some resistance up here, which we could run into at about $1.46, and then all the way up to $1.71. Once we get above $1.71, then we might come up to this red line up here, which is currently at $2.13. That's where I think Bitfarms is likely to find significant resistance, potentially roll right over. So be careful around that line there. That's going to be your line because there's a ton of resistance here on the left that you can see there that goes all the way up to about 236. And then once we're above like that 236 level, then we're out of this descending channel that we've been stuck in, just like Riot. If you look here, now this one's been in a descending channel basically since December 2023. And has been respecting that, making lower highs all the way down, lower highs and lower lows all the way down since December 2023. So the highest I would expect this thing to get sometime by May would be about maybe 226 at the best, maybe. So that's about as good as I'm expecting Bitfarms to do anytime soon. Let's move on to Soluna, the lotto play, the zero or hero. It is very much a zero. We're making lower lows. We're just hanging out near the bottom of the Keltner channel. Even if this thing breaks out, the top of the Keltner channel is at $4, which is barely going to make any profit from where I got in here because I got in this yellow box here. So I'll probably end up closing this at break even at some point later in the year. And that's fine. I'll get my fancy dinner back, and that's about it. Yeah, the BX trend looks bad. The stochastics look bad. This looks like trash. This is disgusting. So let's move on. Cifr also looks pretty bad. This thing puked out really hard. So we had a double top come in, right? Top, boom, and we made it to the bottom of that double top. So that is done. That's not going to hurt us anymore. Now we need to look for bullish structure or sideways action. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be a couple weeks of sideways action, kind of like what we had back in here and in here and in here and in here, right? So that's kind of what I am expecting to see. I'm expecting to see some sideways action for a little while, and then some kind of lift off with a big green candle, and then a little bit more sideways action so that you can get in, and then a move up back towards $6, maybe even $7 on Cifr. Maybe we'll even try to come up and tap this yellow line up there. I don't know though. There's only 2 points that have touched that yellow line though, so I can't really say that it's really a trend. Anyways, yeah, we came back basically to critical support. Now we got to wait for it to go sideways a little bit, see what it does. Let's take a look at Corz. Corz is one I've been very interested in for a little while now. Ever since it broke my white line up here at $11, 10. Is that 1097 or 1001? 1097. I've been a little bit interested in Corz. Now we came almost down to my white line here. That was actually kind of crazy. We almost touched the bottom. Is this August 5th? Is that the August 5th low? We almost touched the August 5th low. And we're going to see some sideways action here. We're actually beneath the bottom Keltner channel on Corz. So that means Corz is significantly undervalued at this time. That's pretty good. I like that. Of course, nothing I say is financial advice and not a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. Please do your own research, come to your own conclusions, make up your own stop losses and take profit zones, and adhere to them when you are doing this. Investing isn't, it's a skill and it's difficult, and it's really an individual practice. So, really lock in where you are willing to go with these things and how long you're willing to hold them before you buy even one share of these things. Anyways, so we really want to see this thing get back up into the Keltner channel there, start closing some candles going sideways, and then I want to see it conquer the 5-week moving average. Once we conquer the 5-week moving average, I mean, the highest high I think we're going to get out of this thing again is maybe 18.45, which is what, like a $10 move from where we are right now? No, not $10. Where are we at right now? What's the current price of this thing? There we go. It is $8.81, so a little less than $10, and I'll probably end up getting like $8 when I buy it, and then I would be very much getting out. Honestly, I'd probably jump early, maybe even around $15, like where we see this structure right here. I'd probably be jumping ship. I want to arrive to the party late, and I want to leave early. No more hanging around like last time. I should have jumped out of Iren as soon as I had 100% and been like, boom, locked in. We're not making that mistake again. This is not a market that wants to act rationally. It does not want to do the things that it's done before. It does not want to see these things go up. It wants to let them go up maybe 100% and then punish them harshly. So pay attention to those things. It's not going to be like before. I don't think we're going to see new all-time highs on any of these, honestly, unless we get some serious pumping out of the Fed, like some serious cutting out of the Fed, and unless this trade war calms down, unless no new conventional wars begin. There's a lot of ifs on whether or not we're actually going to see any positive moves out of these things this year. So be really cautious right now. Things are rough. Like I know A lot of people, oh, this is the bottom, it's the best time to buy, and all that stuff. And yeah, and traditionally, yeah, that's the case. And I have been nibbling on some indexes like QQQ. I have been nibbling on things like Tesla that are down like 50%. But these like Bitcoin miners are super high risk. I have not been adding back to those yet because the risk is just so high at this time. For me, if you like that risk, that's up to you. Wulf coming down. It's trending beneath the 5-week moving average. It is also below the Keltner channel on the weekly chart here. That is rough. The stochastics and the BX trender all look bad though right now. We did get a hammer candle. That is a good sign. Now, if it were to come up, I'd be looking at maybe moving up towards like 484 right now before we hit resistance from all of this stuff right here, like all of that right there between 440. What did I say? 444, like 460 or so, maybe, all the way up to like 539. There's a lot of resistance there on the left. Where we are right now, if we go any lower, we're gonna hit the August 5th low, which was 276. That'd be pretty cool actually to hit that. Like tap it, kiss it, and then go flying up from there, just like we did before, just like we did last time. This is the kind of candle I want to see. This is a bottoming candle here, that August 5th candle. Look at that. Look how different that is from the previous couple of weeks. Okay, we want to see a candle like that like drops real far, but still ends up being a little bit positive. Like I want to see a big green candle. Until I see a big green candle, I am not convinced that this is done. All right. That's all. I mean, in some of these, we did get big green candles, and those were pretty wicked fake outs. So I'd want to see a big green candle followed by a candle that isn't red in order to get interested again right now. And I'm going to miss some money on these things, but that's okay. I'm not too concerned. I'm not that greedy. Let's take a look at Hut. Hut's got a wicked hammer candle down there. Look at that thing. How long that wick is. That is good. This thing came, let's see. Where's August 5th lows on this bad boy? We went, oh, no, we didn't. We didn't go that far. Okay. So, again, same sort of thing. We're way below the bottom Keltner channel, which kind of shows that there's value here on the Hut chart. I mean, at least up to, 1405 on the Hut chart. We need to conquer this 5-week moving average. We, again, had a big old double top right in here, and we have completed that double top by coming to the bottom, so that one can't hurt us anymore. We need to see a new bullish pattern form. Maybe we'll get something like back here. We had that nice little head and shoulders that took us up. Maybe we'll come back down here and we'll make a double bottom and take us back up. But I would be expecting it to not really go much higher than these two white lines right here between 1807 and 2151. Because that is a lot of resistance right there. Now, if we get over that second white line, 2151, we get above that, yeah, well, then we can run for highs. But without that, I'm not really thinking too much that it's going to go much higher than that, honestly. Okay, now let's take a look at Hive real quick. So Hive, I've been interested in, and I'm still interested in, because Hive tends to break out pretty dramatically from the area where it has come retraced to, and this one is actually going for its lowest low. Like its August 5th low was back here, and we're below the August 5th low. So this thing is in the dumps. Sorry about that. You probably heard that car horn. This one is in the dumps. It could go a little bit lower, like a bit lower, like 147 or so. We really want to see it conquer the 5-week moving average. Once it gets above that 5-week moving average, it's got room up between 338 and 278, so 278 to 338. Once it's above 338, once it's above there, it tends to do these big parabolic moves up to this yellow descending line here, which in this case would be somewhere about 528 or so, which is not a bad move from where we currently are at $1.74. So I'm not buying yet. But if you were to buy at $1.74 and it were to hit that line, we'd be looking at a 200% move, which is not bad. Of course, I wouldn't be getting into it until it's at least above 216 again. So let's go ahead and see what that would be. I want to see it at least above there, and we'd be going up about 134% or so. So that's still nothing to shake a stick at. That's not bad, especially if you're putting in a decent amount of capital. Not that I recommend that, because that would be crazy right now. Anyways, let's move on to CAN. So how's CAN looking? CAN has given back all of its gains, just all of them. It came all the way back to critical support. The stochastics look bad. The BX trender looks bad. We're right at the bottom of the lower Keltner channel. not stochastic, Keltner channel. This one also did some sort of a double top. It's a really ugly one though, like a really gross one. Like we came up, came down like this, and then we came and did one more right there, and then went down. Like that was brutal. But it, again, we've come to the bottom of that formation, and guess what? Just like before, that specific formation can't hurt us anymore. It's got to make a new one. It's got to make a new bearish or bullish formation down here. Now, Can likes to do these blow off tops, right? Come back down and then go sideways for a while. So I'm thinking Can's going to go sideways for a little while and then give us a blast up, maybe a retest, one retest, and then another blast. If it gives us any of that at all. Actually, never mind. I don't even think it's going to give us a retest because when I look at this for a second, none of these back here did. They're just straight up, straight up, straight up, straight up. No retest. So once this thing gives us a big green candle, I think I'm going to be looking to just get in and ride the wave if Can is on my list. I'll see, because I mean, right now it could easily do a from there that I mean, we could see a 200% pop on Can pretty easily. So I'm watching that one too. Okay, Btdr is, man, this thing has a wide move. It was doing a megaphone. It was doing a megaphone right there. It broke it to the downside. I don't really see any double tops or anything in here. I guess you could say that there was like a head and shoulders right here, and that did come to the bottom as well. So that really that formation can't hurt us anymore either. But we're not really at critical support. Btdr needs to come all the way down to about $7 to get critical support, and we haven't touched the bottom Keltner channel yet on Btdr. So I do think that there is potential for a little more deepening into this dive here, and then as soon as we break this aggressive white line there, I could see it coming back up into about $16 range, 16 to 18.90, and then from there it would have to break above 18.90 before it can move any higher. But to the downside, I could be seeing it go to 656 before it does that, and the BX trender and stochastic support that kind of idea. So Btdr's looking kind of rough. Let's take a look at MicroStrategy. Now, MicroStrategy might be breaking out. Okay, MicroStrategy might be making a move. So again, MicroStrategy did some pretty ugly moves here, right? We came up, made another top, and came down. And we came down not to the complete bottom of it, but we got close. So this one could still hurt us. Because for this one to do its full move down, it would have had to come all the way down to the bottom of these candles, which would have been about 215 to 218, somewhere around there. We didn't quite get there. Now, but the BX trender down here, look at that. It made a higher low, right? It made a higher low, and the stochastics turned yellow. That is all good signs. So basically, and we got a nice big green candle. We were up 3.59% on the week. That's terrible, but we were up. Even though we came down big, we got this big wick on bottom, and it closed green. Not quite. So basically, once we're above this big ugly candle here from February 24th, which would be getting above. Sorry, I'm using a touchscreen today. Should be getting above $304, right? We get above 304. Let's call it $305. We get above that. Well, then we're unlocked up to about 350 and potentially even 389 from there. So above 305, we're unlocked up to 350 to 389 on there, and that's not bad. That's not bad. It's a $45 move on the low end there for MicroStrategy, and we know about MicroStrategy is it tends to front run Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. So if we start seeing breakouts of MicroStrategy, guess what's going to happen with the Bitcoin miners soon after? Probably a big breakout for them as well. All right, so we're keeping our eyes on MicroStrategy right now. That is the front runner. That is what we are paying attention to at this time. And anyways, this video is getting a little too long, so we're going to cut it off there. I'm going to start doing a crypto weekend here in maybe a few hours or so. I'm going to go take a break and then come back and talk about some crypto. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description, as well as the channel bio, and have a profitable day.